Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City Geekcast. I'm your host, JC. Returning to the desk is my beautiful wife, Tina.
Hola.
She's still getting used to my haircut.
It's gone. That was an accident.
None of us used to her.
He accidentally cut my son's hair too short, and henceforth he wanted it.
I kind of like it, though. It's helped me conserve shampoo.
Accidentally?
Yeah, it really does.
Exactly.
Joining us on the phone, and we're actually Skype calling him right now, so if I can get the video part to work, they'll pop up right here. If not, well, I'm still an amateur video editor. We got Tommy.
Hello.
And, of course, we got Mike.
I'm Mike, and dear God, it's 2020 still.
Hopefully that works, because that they're back there, because I'm like waving at them.
Yeah, if not, you're just waving at the WrestleCast
waving
logo
at the
that's
whatever.
just sitting there.
I figure it out.
Wave at the logo.
We thank everybody for joining us. Our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to our channel, the Countdown City Geeks. And if you feel the need to sponsor us, send us an email, ccg.wrestlecast@gmail.com. Tina, you have to point again. Yes.
Mexican restaurants sponsor us.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Black barbecue restaurants, sponsor us.
I'm down with that too.
Actually, any restaurant would be
food,
great.
any place with food that I can eat, please sponsor us. Anyway, today we are previewing a pay-per-view. The first time we get to talk since WrestleMania. Money in the Bank is still happening.
Wow.
In a way we never thought it would ever happen. And we're also going to talk a bit about ACH, our good friend ACH. What?
What do you mean, JC? We talked about last year how the natural progression is to stop doing ladder matches and go to corporate headquarters. I don't know.
I give it 5 years before we're having ladder matches on the moon. Anyway, we're also going to talk about ACH's first post-WWE interview that he had on the Submission Squad Presents Menu Midcarders Podcast. Pretty revealing stuff. Very cool interview. 2.5 hours. Well worth a listen. If you haven't listened already, we're going to spoil the hell out of it. So
it was long.
It was long, but it was good. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was. But especially with you Texas fans, because they get into, a lot of his Texas stuff early, at least ACW stuff. So that was nice.
Yeah, we'll talk a lot about that, especially how much we all hate the Nasty Boys now. Anyway, so we'll jump right into Money in the Bank 2020, which has appropriately gotten the tagline, "Climbing the Corporate Ladder." Literally.
So Triple H is going to win?
No. That's what I want.
Is he going to pop
That's
up?
actually a good point.
Because he hasn't done that in his career yet, is win a Money in the Bank ladder match.
Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're just
Calling
trying to...
We'll talk about this, but since they're going on at the same time.
I mean, then both of them got it.
Exactly.
Yes. Nailed it. There's 6 matches on the card, but technically it could be 5 because as what we understand it, the Money in the Bank matches themselves, men's and women's, could be happening at the exact same time.
They've said it like I don't know how many times. I don't know if it's true.
I don't get how that works and why.
I don't know either.
It probably costs too much money to, okay, we got one match done. Reset. Get ready for the next one.
We got one camera. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Didn't they have the money for that right now? They fired everybody.
Exactly. No, they spent all that money on Goldberg, and they couldn't recoup it. That's basically what's happened.
No.
That's why they had to let go.
And then they let go of Cain Velasquez. They let go.
Yeah. Never mind the insider trading.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
talking.
Before we get into those matches, we're going to start with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. It is a fatal 4-way. The New Day defending against Miz and Morrison, the Forgotten Sons. We don't know which 2 of those 3 will be wrestling for them.
We forget.
And Lucha House Party. No, they haven't announced yet.
No, we forget.
We forget what?
Get it? Forgotten.
Oh, we forgot. Oh, I see what you did.
Oh, come on, JC.
Come on, JC.
I missed you, babe.
Gosh, I'm even doing my jokes now.
I know. It's been a while. I missed having you on the show.
To be fair, Mike says better jokes. I should have waited for Mike to say it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I let him go around.
All right. Does anybody here think the New Day could possibly be losing their title?
Nope.
Always at this point.
New Day.
I don't know. I really don't.
No.
No, I don't think so.
So we're all going with New Day? That was an easy one.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
I can't because I can't think of any reason why they shouldn't.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. Usually I go with mi gente, but I'm just.
I'm surprised you're not thinking Miz and Morrison.
Well, that too. I do love the Miz, but nah, I don't. I think.
Man.
Nah, man.
I was about to say Miz and Morrison or mi gente. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, we all know Lucha House Party. If you are Hispanic, you cannot win a title unless it's the United States Championship. We've talked about this.
Oh my
so
gosh.
it's a surprise that these guys are actually going for the
And
tag
there's
team
no U.S.
championship.
title on here. Damn.
No, there's not, unless it's on the pre-show. This is all they've announced.
You know what's you know what's worse about that joke is the fact that was like when they brought it back. The first person to win it was Eddie Guerrero in the beginning.
Yeah, that's very true. That set the precedent.
You're solidifying our,
I was like, the more we made that joke, I thought about it. I was like, wait, who won it when they brought it back? Oh my God, it was Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
Henceforth.
Nailed it.
Surprised Ray's not in that match.
Nah, who knows?
Just saying.
Might be going for the United States title. Who knows? SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley defending against Tamina. How happy is everybody that Tamina's getting a title shot here?
I am very happy. I'm surprised a little bit, but I'm very happy. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Do I think she's gonna win? No, sadly.
Okay. Does anybody think Tamina's gonna win?
I know I'm wrong, but I'm picking Tamina anyway. I don't care.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go ahead and die on this.
I will not mind if she wins.
Yeah.
I'll say that, but I don't think she will.
Like I declared on Instagram when I said Iron Man 2 wasn't as bad as people said it was. I'm gonna die on this hill. That's me.
Tommy, there's only so many hills you can die on, I would think.
Yeah.
Have you ever met me? Of course, there's not.
No, that's a good point.
It's like one big hill.
He's like a cat. He's got like 9 lives.
Yeah. He's used them all already.
Well, he just.
I borrowed
Lance Archer.
I killed other cats, so I just borrowed them.
There you go.
Mike, are you joining Tommy on that hill that he's going to die on with Iron Man 2, or are you sticking with Bayley?
Let's do I care about my prediction record in 2020 anymore? Does it mean anything?
It gives us something to look forward to, man.
At this point, not really.
You know what? I'm going to join Tommy. Tamina wins the title.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go for it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jump on the Tamina train.
No. I'm sticking with Bayley. I think Sasha Banks. I think Sasha's going to get involved, number one. 2, Tamina's going to be that face that they push. Oh, he's got a shot. Oh, everybody would love to see it. Oh, it's not happening, and then they just go away. That's really how I feel about it.
So she's Rob Van Dam in 2002.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like the Zack Ryder treatment. What?
Yeah, there you go. That's another one.
True.
I would say more Rob Van Dam because unlike Zack Ryder, you believe Rob Van Dam had a chance.
So you're saying that Tamina will win, but she'll lose on Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
got it.
Go. Nice.
It would not be the first time either.
Yeah. That's a good point. I wasn't thinking Ryder WrestleMania 32. I was thinking even before that, but you're right.
I was thinking Ryder every other time in his career. That's basically yes. All right.
Yes, pretty much.
All right. Universal
unprecedented.
Yeah. Universal Championship. Braun Strowman getting his first title defense against Bray Wyatt. Not the Fiend, just regular old
it's
Bray
Braun.
Wyatt. Braun.
I've heard reports that they want to keep it on him for a while. So
as they should. I don't think he should drop the title
because
of
the whole Roman Reigns thing that they don't know if he's coming back, when he'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't mention him, or
they don't mention. They cut him out of a clip. Apparently,
of all people to get the Hulk Hogan / Chris Benoit treatment, we're going with Roman Reigns here.
I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
I'm so confused. I'm like, what did he do?
He did not do. Okay, how is he being treated as badly as like CM Punk and Hulk Hogan and all like other
Chris Benoit?
Yeah, when the guy literally
anybody that's in AEW right now,
the guy literally is just trying to protect himself from getting sick. That's it.
Yeah, he's got a low immunity.
We're right, but in a roundabout way, is he responsible for those people who got released? Because Goldberg's money was wasted because instead of a big matchup with Roman Reigns, we had to have Goldberg Braun. Braun takes the time. I'm just kidding.
No,
maybe
don't even let me. Y'all let me went too long.
We did let you go too long.
Maybe
I was like, continue, sir.
Yeah, let's see how he spins this shit.
Maybe that has something to do with it though, because he did show up, and then maybe Vince was like, "Well, you're already here. Why are you leaving?"
No, but either way,
it's like it shouldn't have been that way.
Either way, they're not making money because they couldn't sell tickets. You know, the releases were going to happen either way.
But my assumption is maybe Vince was really upset the fact that he left.
Probably
I think there
because
may be some truth to that.
there may
yeah.
be some truth to that, but you have to understand. Vince won't understand, but you have to understand he's got to protect himself in this situation.
Yeah.
He made the right decision for
But-
himself. But Vince
And-
seems to
and-
think
and-
that
and-
anything WWE is immune to COVID-19. So if you walk on WWE property, you're automatically immune to COVID-19. That's basically Vince's.
But I'm just like, if
spray
that's
you with
honestly the
disinfectant?
reason that he wanted him to, like, just because he left because he didn't want his family to get sick or himself to get sick.
Yeah. And his
Oh my
wife,
God, Vince, really?
And his
How
wife's
dare you.
pregnant.
Does Biden, you know.
Wasn't his wife pregnant too at the time too?
Is she? I have no
Yeah,
idea.
pregnant
supposedly.
now.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
She's
pregnant right
pregnant
now, which is even worse.
Wow.
So like, what do you don't want to know? You don't want to get any of that sick, you know?
Yeah.
My thought
Yeah, no
process is like,
kidding.
do they walk in at WWE headquarters and they do that little mist machine with a disinfectant?
I know they were doing like
Turn around.
temperature checks and all that stuff. So.
I know, but it's like, come on.
Yeah.
They spray every wrestler down with Lysol, which is why they had to fire half their roster. They couldn't-
You know,
Yep.
we mentioned this like last week. This is part of Vince losing his mind, and
Yes,
And almost in
sorry,
essence it
okay,
is. And
Sorry.
he's a control freak, and he things he doesn't have the control of the situation, he gets pissed off about. You know, so he gets.
I can't control COVID-19.
He gets
All
petty
of you
about
got to be fired. Damn
Yeah.
it.
So
And make Roman no longer look strong.
I really hope you put that up here
what?
so you can see Tommy's face.
I hope I can get it.
while
to
he's
work.
impersonating.
Yes.
Even if you can't, just go back to the Skype video and just screenshot that.
yes.
Then
Make
that-
Roman no longer
Or
look
just
strong.
cut right here, go to the video, and then come back.
I will give it a shot.
Roman left. That's not good shit.
All right. I still want that damn T-shirt. All right, so we're all taking Strowman there. They're in a roundabout way. We get into Roman Reigns discussion.
Hey, y'all let me go on way too long with that, just like we let Mike go on too long.
No,
Man,
that's
nobody
fine.
stop me.
No,
fine.
we're totally good.
We miss you guys. That's why.
Oh, man. Miss you guys too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We miss people in general, but we miss you guys.
WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre. It's nice to type Drew McIntyre champion versus Seth Rollins. How
That
awesome
actually is
that?
wonderful to say out loud.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, I
God.
know.
How awesome is that?
Fantastic.
Now,
Yes.
oh man,
Your question?
I think I feel like this almost
Okay,
like
I'll-
these
okay,
matches
I'll-
are all like a little too.
Okay, I'll
predictable.
say it. Who wants to pick Seth?
Who wants to pick? Who wants to go with the Monday Night Messiah?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Who did? I
Okay.
missed it.
No one did.
No one. Yeah,
I
there you
think
go.
we're all hoping Drew keeps it. Am
Yeah.
I right? Am I right?
Yes, as he should.
Well, I mean, honestly, there's always that whenever the new guy wins at WrestleMania, there's always that first awkward pay-per-view
Yeah.
afterwards where you're like, surely they're not going to let him lose it now. And I mean, granted, given the odd situation and maybe with Roman's situation, this is a chance to completely solidify Drew as a big main event going forward player. Like,
They have to.
no reason to take it off him now.
Yeah.
And I think I said this too. I don't think they want to change that many titles
They shouldn't.
until there's people around.
Only the United
Yeah.
States title, but the Hispanic wrestlers. That's the only title they're going to be changing hands with, basically.
Like,
I mean,
sadly, yes.
that's the thing.
Well, not only that, do you think somebody will? Do you think somebody will cash in?
That's the only potential
That
thing.
night?
No,
They
that
can't.
night.
Why not? Oh, it's the
What,
last
is
match.
the whole show?
Oh, it's the last
First
match.
of all, we think it's the last match. One, two. We don't even know if the rest of the show is going to be at headquarters.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's
From what I heard, I
yeah.
think they already recorded it. They recorded everything, everyone.
gosh. Well, I mean, so is all these matches taking place at headquarters, or
No.
are they taking place at the Performance Center
I think
too?
it's the Performance Center.
Okay, because they haven't really
So
made
then
that
what
clear.
you do is you make that the first match of the night. You say they're flying down to Orlando.
Oh my
What,
god!
Vince owns a supersonic jet now, or what?
Look, I'm just saying. You
You do
got
it
3
well,
hours.
if you do it the first match, you can
what I
technically
mean.
Oh
fly.
my-
Doesn't Vince have like a G6 or something like that?
Oh
Can't they?
my
I mean,
God.
that would be a quick flight.
And then you literally
It is
show
a-
like the plane landing
I
and
mean,
him getting.
technically speaking,
That's some 80s, 90s era shit right there.
hey,
It's good shit.
anything can happen.
Have a helicopter
if we
landing
could go
on the
into
PC.
the mind of John Cena and the Fiend, why can a plane not fly in an hour and a half from
That's right.
corporate headquarters to Orlando?
That's what I'm saying, Mike.
Exactly.
Wow.
Hashtag math.
Hashtag man.
That's right. Hashtag.
Oh my
Hashtag.
lord.
Hashtag
All right.
bad writing.
Long
Hashtag
story
the truth.
short, we're all going with Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
Yes.
as we understand it, the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches are going to happen at the exact same time. But for picking purposes, we're going to pick them separately. Well, we don't know what kind of chaos there's going to be. We might have, for all we know, Nia Jax teaming up with King Corbin for some crap. Who knows?
The heck?
So that's what I was gonna say. So is it a race? Is it
I don't know.
As right.
There's no referee. It's just, they just say ready, set, go.
I guess.
It's like a building version of the Triple Cage of Doom or whatever.
Pretty
but like in a
much.
building.
I was thinking that or Die Hard, which is the
Again,
only other logical thing I could think of.
I'm down with that.
I felt like this was something WCW would have done. This is what this screams WCW booking to me. You know,
I was going to ask if Vince Russo booked this
Will
match.
the women
Ready to Rumble too?
Will the women hit the men?
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
Or
Are
vice
they
versa?
gonna, like how is that going to work out?
I don't know.
I can see Shayna
Baszler and Oscar are there. They're absolutely going to hit them in.
Nia too.
Yeah.
Nia was in the Royal Rumble last year. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't she?
Actually, Nia's going to try to hit a woman, but accidentally hit a guy because
Yeah.
you know he makes mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
There we go.
As long as she doesn't injure them, we're okay.
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
We're going to start with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella are participating.
Before we pick, they also announced that the man will be back the Monday after Raw. I mean, the Monday after
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. So my assumption is it's going to be a Raw woman that wins.
So who do you think is going to win?
Shayna.
Shayna. Okay, well, okay.
Well, it's between Shayna and who else is on Raw?
Let's see here.
Asuka.
Is it Nia on Raw?
I legitimately did forget who else is on Raw.
Is Nia
actually.
Raw or SmackDown?
I think Nia's Raw.
I think Dana, Lacey, and Carmella are SmackDown. Nia, Shayna, and Asuka are Raw.
So Dana SmackDown.
So mine's
right.
between Shayna and Nia. But
Wait, Dana's still in blood? Good for her. Good for her.
It's because Vince didn't recognize her
I
from
thought
when
she
he
would have
first
been the
signed
first
her.
one out the door, but good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, it's because Vince doesn't recognize her from when he first signed her.
That's what it is. You know,
he gets confused with Alexa Bliss.
Here
He's
we
like,
go
"Oh,
again.
you're the
Here we
taller
go
one.
again."
Got it. You. I want you. You're
Damn.
taller."
I think Tommy left.
Medium Alexa, get out there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Taller Alexa, get out there. You can do this. Just don't talk. Okay,
I
cool.
wish that everyone could be.
All you
like
non-cis-stratus
Alexa
blondes, get out there.
Bliss. All right. Tina's going Shayna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's between Shayna and Nia for me, but I'm probably gonna say Shayna.
All right. Tommy, what say you?
I'm going for the greatest announcer in SmackDown history, Asuka.
Oscar. All right.
Wait. Oh shoot, I'm going back. And
We'll come back to you. Mike, who are you
Yes.
picking?
You know what? I think I've established that I don't care about my prediction record anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to wild card. I'm going Dana Brooke. How about that?
Oh,
Out of nowhere.
the large Alexa Bliss, or I'm sorry, not large. She's not large.
Large.
Taller
But-
Alexa
Yeah.
Bliss.
Or as Vince knows her by another name, the more buff Tori Wilson.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Alexa 1.5.
There you go, Mike. There you go. God. So here's my dilemma. I say Shayna, but do they want to make Shayna look strong by being the man one-on-one at another chance and have Nia just beat her by cashing in?
Okay.
Or
Well, at
vice
some
versa.
point, and this may be for a few years, but the man has to go film an NCU movie, apparently.
That's what
Yeah.
I heard.
Eventually-
That's why she's making jokes about being a part-timer. And
Yeah, I
being
saw
that
that.
part-time magazine. I'm still going to go with Shayna, yeah.
You're still going to go with Shayna.
It's a hard one. If Nia wins, I'm going to be like, dang it, I should have picked Nia. But oh well. We're going to go with Shayna on this one.
Don't worry. I'm positive I'm wrong, so it's okay.
I'm 100% certain I'm right.
Oh, good for you. I am not that confident.
Dang
I'm
it.
not.
And if Dana wins, I'm going to be like, oh my God. Yeah.
Oh man, you know I'm
Freak
there
me out.
between Shayna, Nia, and one other person, and I'm just like, God, I honestly, I would hate for all this to stick on Raw, so I'm actually gonna go with my other person, which is Lacey Evans.
Whoa.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know, but
Not Trish Stratus.
I feel like the only way you're gonna get the title off Bailey at this point is gonna be a surprise cash in, and I think the one person they can kind of get behind that would be Lacey Evans.
I still think they're trying to build up for Sasha.
But Dana Brooke would be the other one, Mike. I like that idea. So
I still think they're waiting for SummerSlam to do her and Sasha.
Well, I could see Sasha laying her out and then somebody cashing in at that point.
No, the whole point is I think they want to do it for the title. So.
Yeah,
But
after that match,
I think you're right. But I think, like you also said earlier, I think they kind of want to save that for when there's crowds again, and we don't really know when that's going to be. So
True.
Yeah.
Well, we're assuming SummerSlam, but we don't know. I mean, that's late August, so we'll see.
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
don't know though.
Yeah. Now, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, King Corbin, Otis. Good God, I kind of want to see him get to the top of the ladder. I don't just once. And AJ Styles.
I'm not trying to make fun, but the guy can't raise his hands. How is he gonna?
He'll make it.
He's like,
If they give him that ladder the Big Show had that one year he was in it,
oh yeah.
he'll have no problem.
The man got a kiss from Mandy Rose at WrestleMania. He can do anything.
I love Otis, but the guy, I can't never seen that guy raise his hands higher than like this.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, real quick
Close.
before we get to the choosing.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday Night Raw, there was a last chance gauntlet match, right?
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be the people that lost qualifying matches, or just the last chance for anybody to get in?
I think it was anybody.
I think initially when they announced it was for the last chance for anybody that had lost previously. That's why they announced it originally.
That's why I was confused by AJ showing out. He pulled like a Brock Lesnar and just like, I'm in it.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
why not? You know?
Because Vince is like, get in there.
Yeah.
Mini Brock Lesnar, get in there.
How sad is that if you're in that last chance gauntlet, they basically said they don't want you to qualify twice. None of you are worthy to get in. We're just going to bring somebody else back in. So
Yeah.
So
They're
yeah,
cool and all, but nah.
Tina's wearing
At this point, I think everyone's just trying to stay employed. So
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
Tina, you're wearing the T-shirt.
He came back from the dead. He's going to win Money in the Bank.
Yes.
The phenomenal AJ Styles.
I'm agreeing with her on that. I honestly, him coming back like that, I mean, he hasn't won the Money in the Bank yet. So
My favorite wrestler. I'm still mad that he lost it, Undertaker.
Plus,
died.
The whole, the message he had about Anderson and Gallows getting released on his Mixer stream. I think they want to keep AJ happy, and putting the briefcase on him would be a good way to do that.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
if there's anyone that I could see surprise winning it, it would be Aleister Black.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Hey, that's my pick.
That is Mike's pick? Okay. Yeah. I was
Nice,
about to
Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb. I kind of want to try some new people with this, and I figure what better time, in honesty, to get some of these different things in. So yeah, I want to see Aleister Black win it.
All right. And Tommy, what about you?
So full disclosure, until I saw this list, I literally had no idea who was even in this match. So
Don't worry, Tommy. I haven't seen Raw and SmackDown in a while.
Yes, good advertising.
So R-Truth.
Yes.
oh, if R-Truth said it? No,
Rob
R-Truth all the way,
Gronkowski?
clearly.
Oh dear God.
And then 5 other people that were released as a last chance employment match.
Dang.
Oh.
Wow.
You know Vince would
They
book
go
that shit.
hard
Yes.
all day. I guess that would be a revival, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
Wow. But no, seriously, I'm actually going to go AJ because honestly, for the same reason you guys said. I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to AJ because I think they probably, after they released Gallows and Anderson, were like, we didn't think he'd be mad about that. Well, that's our bad. You want him breaking contract and going to New Japan for more money, which he would probably do.
Yep. All right, so Mike is Lone Wolf and Aleister Black on that one. So.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you could do worse.
True.
And that is
You
our
could pick
picks.
Corbin.
That's our picks for Money in the Bank
Who would pick
2020.
Corbin? God. I'd rather pick Otis before Corbin.
Well, if he was drunk today, since it's Cinco de Mayo, he might have been. But
Quarantine has not driven me that crazy.
Yeah,
okay?
we're not that stupid.
No, we're
yet.
not. Yeah. No. How much you got? You got to drink
Dear
a lot
God,
to
no.
pick him.
Yeah.
Couple of
I'm
those
gonna, I'm
margaritas
gonna go on a limb and say no. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna
go this guy.
I'm gonna say
that guy.
I choose Shawn Michaels.
because Corbin's the best.
Yeah, I would pick
love
Shawn.
every
I
time-
would pick Shawn Michaels
I love
too.
every time him and Roman Reigns have a match. I love it.
More dog food.
I
More
can't
dog food.
Roman Reigns and Corbin matches.
More dog food.
Wow.
No, we can't say that because Roman Reigns is not there.
Yeah, they cut him out of the video.
Now you can now say when Roman Reigns come back, you can totally tell him now. You can't.
So wait,
see
the
me.
edited version of that would be: I love when Corbin and have matches against each other.
Yeah.
No, dude, they should
And
totally.
it was cat food.
They should totally have him steal Cena's gimmick. You can't see me
Yeah.
because you can't.
Boom. There you go.
There it
Edit
is.
us out of all the videos.
Just kidding.
All right, we'll move on from Money in the Bank 2020. It's happening with no crowd in front of them. We'll have more details on the event itself later. To an interview that we've all been waiting for, and it did was kind of a surprise. Because ever since ACH, formerly Jordan Miles, was released from WWE, we remember all that drama. Tommy and Tez and I had an episode talking about it when it happened. And it was crazy. We felt for ACH. We felt for Albert because he's a friend of ours. He's been wrestling here forever.
Yeah.
We followed his career for so long. So, but this was an interview he did on the podcast is called Submission Squad Presents Menu Midcarders. If you're not familiar with Submission Squad, it's basically Pierre Abernathy and Evan Jalistico. Their podcast, long form interview podcast. They have a lot of interviews on there. I was surprised. I had not heard of your podcast until this, and I'm going to go back listening. I think it's
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike,
Mike
for
found
the
it.
link of it. So,
Yeah, real quick before we get started on that, though, I just wanted to say, I think in all the time I saw Submission Squad, I never saw Evan Jalistico as a face, and I always ever saw him insulting people at ringside, and me a couple of the times when I would sit right behind the post. So hearing him be a nice guy was honestly a little shocking, because I don't think I've ever heard him interact like that.
I've never seen him as a face. I don't think
to
I've ever
be
seen Pierre
honest-
Abernathy as a face
To
either.
be honest, the same.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think I'd ever seen either one of them be nice.
I feel like I've seen Pierre and other stuff, but I think also because he was in charge of St. Louis Anarchy, and I used to follow a bunch of their stuff. But yeah, definitely Jalistico.
Yeah.
I've seen them be nice before, and it's funny because right before this interview, we heard about this interview. I've been going through my old pictures and stuff, and I found the one picture I took with Pierre and Evan, and David Vega was in it. Of all the years I've known them, I've taken one picture with them.
Nice.
I've
That's
taken,
the only time they
I've
allowed
taken-
you to take a picture with
I've
them.
taken
probably.
zero.
Probably,
Yeah.
and it was Inspire Pro. So
Zero.
Yeah.
I've
zero.
taken
You got
zero.
no pictures with them?
No,
I
none.
don't think I have one either, but I mean, I always enjoyed them as the humorous heels. I mean,
Yeah, they were always funny
Yeah.
though.
They stayed kind of true to character too. Didn't take a whole lot of pictures. I mean, they'd sell merch and stuff if they could, but Pierre
Yeah.
was always funny. His high pitched scream when
Oh
people
my
were coming out of
God,
the ring was
yes.
hilarious.
his screens were the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing I'll say this about their podcast that I enjoyed. We're gonna take a break so I can save this. We'll be right back. And we're back. I don't know why we say that because we don't have any damn commercials in here, and I'm dying
just
laughing.
We're
and
gonna
listening
stop
to that.
right now to do nothing.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that is great. I love that because I was like, oh man, when they first did it, I was like, oh man, this thing has commercials.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and we're back. We had no
Oh, I
commercials, and I
fucking
just couldn't
died
start
laughing.
laughing.
I was cracking up when I was listening to it. I was like, because I was the same way like Tina was. I was like, you have commercials on this? And then he just came right back, and we're back. We have no commercials. I was like, okay.
That was badass. I was like, you know what?
That
I
was
mean,
fun.
if they had advertisers, good for them. But if not, have some fun with it.
The best
man,
thing
you
was
know?
that me and JC were working, and we just had it on like JC's phone playing or computer playing,
on the computer, yeah.
and we were both just like cracking up. And then every once in a while, our kids would walk in, and they'd be like, "Why y'all laughing?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Just go back to
Yeah.
your work, please."
Go back
or
to Paw Patrol.
Yeah, go back watch Paw Patrol.
Yeah. So as far as
know-
the interview, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, real quick.
Most
I was just
popular
making
TV
just-
show, Paw Patrol. Just saying.
It made me think now on the podcast, you should do commercial breaks like Jericho.
Yeah.
And be like, all of a sudden, you just cut in by yourself. Oh, Tommy, I totally want to hear your
Yeah.
thoughts. But before we do that, and then just like pretend like he's
How
still
he kind of
interviewing.
does that on his. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, still, it was really cool to hear. There's a lot of things about ACH's career we didn't know that the long form interviews, some of the stories. These guys were his buddies. They had some road stories together, living in St. Louis.
Nasty boys.
The Nasty Boys. Yeah, we'll
Oh,
get to that. So,
jeez.
we were there for
Sorry, I
that.
had
Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
there
we
for
were.
that. And getting the backstory of what was supposed to happen and what they understood to happen,
Yeah.
we knew when we got there the Nasty Boys were just wasted, beyond wasted. And I
was
remember,
no shock
obvious.
there at all.
yeah. And I remember that whole thing where they're trying to calm down. They're just sitting there. And when he has to make this insult on Hulk Hogan, that's when they finally came down. And it was like, oh, my God. And it was just a complete screw up. And I'm like, oh, God, please never let these guys work in Texas again.
And haven't y'all, y'all have talked to some of the other female wrestlers that we know from that time, talking about how bad they were.
They were horrible.
Yeah.
Even worse than the story where there's they took some younger guys out, we'll cover the meal, and then they made them pay anyway. That was bullshit. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Honestly, that just sounds like every story you hear about old timers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What it used to be like the carnies and 80s. And
isn't that what they say on the thing? They go, and that guys, ladies and gentlemen, is independent wrestling in the 80s or something.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
80s, yeah.
Which sucks,
But it was actually in the 2000s.
Funny part is, after that show was over, Biss came right up to me and was like, man, I apologize for the Nasty Boys. And I was like, bro, that is not your fault, man.
I believe it. I believe Biss doing something like that.
I know. Sure. He was there at the ACW at the time, and I was like, dude, it's not your fault. Forget about it. And we know this is a reflection of what you guys are doing. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, but this a lot, we hear a lot of things about ACH's career, how much things take off for him. We've, of course, followed him from, we first saw him, I think, in CWF. Mm-hmm. He started with RCW, left there, went to ACW, got so big there. I mean, Darren helped make him a star, which was awesome. You know, and we knew he was something special. We've known him for a while. He got to travel everywhere. Then Ring of Honor signs him, and getting that perspective of all places, because he was the quote unquote internet darling, and how he was almost he was coming to Outcast. I was like, how many guys from Ring of Honor, because of their careers in Ring of Honor, become internet darlings and go to places?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, really? Of all the places that treat him like that, ROH? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really was surprised to hear that about how.
And that they wanted him to be specifically a high flyer.
I mean, and I understand that.
He said, I don't want to be, tied to one thing. I just want to be a wrestler. And they kept telling him, no, you're a high flyer. You're a high flyer. And he's like, he even said, I never did so many high flying moves until I was in ROH. Yeah.
That's very true.
Which I was like, wow.
I think about he didn't do a whole lot of top rope dives until he got to ROH. The whole 1 foot mid rope springboard to the outside, which when he came back into the BOW, he almost damn near died. It was scary.
Yeah. That was scary as hell. I remember that. But
so that, just dealing with that, I mean, because he did one move that Jay Lethal doesn't even use anymore, and Steen got in his face about it. I was like, okay, is it really that bad back there? Like, why can't you discuss it somehow? I mean,
yeah. I feel like I heard from ACH stuff and even from other stuff with Steen that he and Steen and ACH never seemed to really get along, or Steen kind of always had a thing for him about just not finding him. I guess found him annoying or something. Yeah, I feel like I heard that from way back even before. So.
And he kind of alludes to that. He was different. He was into video games. He was into anime. He didn't really share interests with other people. That's just how he was,
Well, he was also saying that he made such a family with the people like in Anarchy, especially, and people he traveled with. And then when he went there, it was just like everybody was like there because of other things, and he was the internet darling. So nobody really wanted to. He says, I'm not very one to like open up
until you get to know him.
Until you get to know him, which is, I mean, I remember that about him. Yeah, but maybe he didn't know exactly what to talk about with these guys because they were all just not. They didn't share any interest like he did.
Yeah, and it sucks because he had some great high profile matches. They had chances to make him a star. I mean, the AJ Styles match at the anniversary show in Vegas was amazing. So,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, just seeing him on TV on ROH pay-per-view was pretty awesome. Seeing him wrestle Briscoe in San Antonio for the title, getting that title shot in San Antonio was pretty damn cool too. Yeah. So, so thankfully he does find his way out with all that stuff. He goes to New Japan. Makes a pretty good career there, and it's a stark difference from how he's treated Ring of Honor to how he's treated New Japan and how the crowd reacted to him. Just the smile, the anime thing, they got that, and I think that showed he can immerse himself with the culture wherever he is and make that part of who he is.
Because as far as everyone knows, nerds are in right now.
He was kind of ahead of that,
No, seriously, nerds are in right now. People love. video games, especially right now with the whole quarantine.
Twitch is taking off. Yes,
Twitch is going crazy. Star Wars Day, everybody's talking about Star Wars. I mean, like it's nothing new. It's actually getting big, and I think the people maybe in ROH were like, "Oh, you're so nerdy. Why are you doing that?" But people really love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, I didn't know much about in his Japan run, his time under the mask.
Yeah.
I looked up some stuff after listening to that. I guess it was the Dark Tiger or Tiger Dark or something.
Tiger the Dark. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which was
basically tied into the Tiger Mask W anime.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't really know much about that. So he talked about wrestling under the mask and how it was the one they wanted him, or he wound up wearing, was more difficult to breathe and wrestle in. But I looked some of that up, and I didn't even know much about that, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy when he said like the original one that he wore, that he was like, I couldn't breathe in it. Like it was hard. I couldn't go that long of a match because I just couldn't breathe.
Well, not necessarily breathing issues, but it was just real hot in there, and he wasn't used to that because the whole suit.
No, he said it was breathing also.
He was breathing too. Okay, yeah. So I mean,
yeah, I remember that. I was like, whoa.
I mean, I can't imagine wrestling like that. I can imagine wrestling anyway.
Dude, I could barely go shopping for 15 minutes with the mask on my face before I start like sweating.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Same here. But I'm also using the defense of it was ungodly hot this past week, so I'm adding that to my defense.
As long as it kills the virus.
Me too.
I wish I could say that, but I wasn't like inside and sweating.
It still gets hot in there,
No.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm out of shape. It's because it's hot.
No, not at all.
Let me have this, Tina. Okay.
Thanks, Mike. I was like, thanks, Mike.
The podcast has some pretty good stories.
I'm talking about me.
Yeah,
me too.
First hour and a half is a lot of good road stories, a lot of his time coming up in his career through Ring of Honor. And then he gets the surprise call from WWE to join them, and that's a dream of his. Goes to Performance Center, talks about how difficult it was to... It didn't hit him until he had his last match on the Indies, how he wasn't going to see these guys for a long time. It was his family. He keeps a small circle of friends, and that's good, for him. So,
yeah.
So going to WWE, and I think I like the fact that he said that's who he was. He was a home buddy. He went to work out. Like that was his job, and he was enjoying the fact that his job was a pro wrestler because that was a dream of his.
Yeah.
And I think anybody growing up would love to have a sport or a wrestler as a job, like something fun as a job. Who wouldn't love that?
I dreamed about being a professional volleyball player. That didn't happen.
Well, apparently they're going to start a pro women's volleyball.
I know.
league
I'm
in the
excited.
US.
I'm not trying out. I'm gonna go watch.
Come on, Tina. Follow your dreams.
I'm too short.
I mean,
You're just
me and JC wanted to be pro wrestlers, so we watched MTV Real Life. So
yeah, once we watched Rory Fox go through, it was like, no, not going to happen. I'm just kidding. But everyone knows the whole big issue, why this is such a big story. Jordan Miles is the name. They put him, over with this tournament that he had. He wins the whole thing. He gets a shot against Adam Cole, and then the T-shirt drama. He kind of reiterates everything we already knew. The back and forth with the emails. Someone said, well, Triple H has this vision for you.
But he also said that when he started wrestling at WWE, he didn't smile. He's like, I was all business. I went to the ring. I did my thing. I smiled if I won a little bit. And then apparently Vince told him, like, no, we need you to smile. We want you to smile.
And
we
he
like
took
that.
it to 100, basically.
And he took it to 100. Well, he's always a happy guy. So he was just like, to me, it wasn't like a big deal. I was like, okay, I'll smile.
And I felt like he was getting back into that kind of anime part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they signed him. Yeah.
And all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the whole, whoever, he said that the designer said that Triple H approved it, and then Triple H said, I didn't approve it. T-shirt guy approved it.
We thought you approved it. You were okay with it. Yeah, that whole back and forth.
So I don't know.
We all know that drama. It played out on social media. Again, his Twitter account's deleted, but I'm sure somebody's saved or screenshotted things out there. It lives on forever.
Of course.
And for one, it was good to hear that he's remorseful about it. I think anybody can agree. We've all made mistakes in our life.
Uh-huh.
I don't think any of us ever made mistakes with thousands or possibly millions of followers, though.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing right there. Yeah.
So, but that's okay. He admits it. Yeah, he could have handled it a lot differently. And I think why it happened the way it was, and I don't blame him for this, the way he described his backstory, the way he described how things had gone, and all this things happening. Everything was just penting up. Everything was just building up. You know, the shit he dealt with the Ring of Honor, the stuff how he's just real reserved and how people have always kind of outcasted him. We've heard stories of him here on the Indies. Some people don't like him for whatever reason. Who knows?
Yeah,
because he was different. You know.
Well, not only that. Remember, we'd go to shows, whether it was here or like Austin. There was always this one group of guys I remember from like Dallas or Houston that would just give a shit.
Dallas hates everybody.
Man, those guys were brutal.
Those guys would always talk smack to him, and I was always like, shut up, like they're so freaking annoying, and they just kept going on and on and on, and I was like, what the hell? Then stop.
Because if they weren't Dallas guys,
I was like, why'd you come over here just to make fun of him? Like that doesn't make.
Yeah, and
yes.
I think it was a combination of everything building up. And yeah, granted, he had won the tournament, but at some point, everyone hits a breaking point, and for him, that might have been it, you know.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned real quick too. By the time he got to NXT, they had that influx of old ROH talent that was in there.
Yeah.
And so he mentioned also how he was like he felt like a lot of that resentment carried over, and he always felt like he was walking on eggshells because he was like, a lot of these guys didn't seem to like me last time. They don't know how I've changed. And it seems like maybe they didn't give him much of a chance.
Right.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's one of those things where you have to kind of reintroduce yourself to him, you know. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? You know, mistakes were made. He's owned it, which is nice to hear. How many times do we hear people that make a mistake and just like,
and he
no, I didn't make a mistake.
He said it too. Like it was just like everything just kind of built up, and then when he saw that shirt, it just kind of all came out ahead, and he was just like, I was just angry. Like, I was just, and who wouldn't be? You've had so much this stuff building up, and you're just like, just let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And then that happens. Of course, you're going to just like blow up. Like I would have. Yeah. But he said it himself. Should I have gone about it a different way? He's like, I don't regret anything I've said or done, but I do regret the way I said it. I wish I would have said it in a better way.
Right.
Yeah,
and I get that.
Most notably they mentioned is the Jay Lethal, the Uncle Tom comment. He mentions, he probably could have used a different word, but the heat between him and Lethal's real. The story was real that he told. So I know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is like when you hear that kind of story, it's like when you know what's behind it, it doesn't make it right, but you do get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like. You know, as a black dude myself, another black dude especially one who I look up to, slaps me in the face. Yeah, a whole lot of racial slurs are gonna fly out of my mouth because me and him are no longer cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's gonna get personal real quick. And the thing is, though, it's like you only not only do you have to put up with all that, and then you get to a place where you think you finally put this up behind you, and then basically a old cartoon Jim Crow stereotype T-shirt is made that someone important has lied to you and said that everyone else said is okay.
Yeah, and he was also saying that they tried to say like, oh, well, we were playing off the Rolling Stones logo. It's like the same thing, but I was like,
no, even I can tell.
The Rolling Stones are a bunch of British guys.
I was like, really?
You're just pulling shit out of your ass at that point.
My thought process is like, if you're supposed to be following doing a similar design to Rolling Stones, that still doesn't make it any better.
No. Like
what is anything Rolling Stones have to do anything to do with?
Where is
JCH?
just the basic screen print of him flying through the air?
Yeah.
Like that's like the shirt that should have been done, you know, like a silhouette of him flying through the air, something like that, you know?
His pro wrestling tees designs are worlds better than what that was.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Obviously, yeah. And then
or do an anime themed one or something. I mean, play into that.
He had that one. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. I wanted to get it, but never could. Of him doing the gum gum stomp, and it was a picture of him with Ricochet. I always loved that design. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And it's like, you know, hey, let's do it. Hey, you know, that's fun, but let's do a very, very racist shirt instead. That's fun.
Yeah, you know, mistakes were made on both ends. Unfortunately, on one side, they have a lot more money, and you know, that's the thing. So
I guess my biggest problem is kind of like they were saying in the thing is like is the fan base themselves. You know, you have your defenders, like, because so I'm part of a wrestling group, and we posted the interview about that, and a lot of people were making fun of ACH. So me, Brandon Bray, who goes to the shows, and a few other guys were coming to ACH's defense. And even the people who don't know him were defending him, saying things like, It's like a lot of guys were saying things like, first of all, it seemed like he was mad, and and things like that. The point that I made was, I said, first of all, he's a personal friend of mine. I legitimately see him as a friend, and I'm just seriously worried. I was worried about him. Mm-hmm. I'm glad he's doing better now, and and I was just worried about him as a friend. So I have to defend my friend. Next, it's like when you get all this built up, and also you get all this built up, and then you explode. Yeah, you're wrong. There's a consequence for it, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have to pay a consequence for the things he said and did, because honestly, he was in the wrong for some of the stuff he did, and he admits that. And I'm saying, yeah, he was in the wrong. He's got to pay for it. But let's do this real quick, because someone else in the group brought it up. If we're going to forgive Hulk Hogan for the stuff he said, but we're not going to forgive ACH for the stuff he said, you might be a racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. Very true.
We know, brother.
And even less than that, not even from a racial standpoint, let's think about this. Shawn Michaels in the 90s was the worst person ever.
He did some messed up stuff. Yeah.
He did. And years later, got clean. We forgave him all, and we all moved on.
Yeah, ACH just made the mistake of not making the money yet, so that was his.
Yeah.
But he could always come back somewhere else and do it.
Oh, I know. I'm just.
Yeah.
I think he was talking about that too. He's like, it's hard for him to be 100% back now, because he invested so much into this. He took a lot. He hit himself. I miss birthdays. I miss family get-togethers. I miss all this stuff to be a pro wrestler, and then something like that triggers me, and I'm upset. And yes, was I wrong? Hell no, I wasn't wrong, but I should have just took it another way.
Yeah,
and
that's
and because of that, he goes, he's enjoying. He said it right. He said it himself. I'm enjoying the time I'm having now with my family, which is good.
He's finally getting time off when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it may be a case he just needs to be away from it a little while longer. He could come back to it. He just may need some more time to be away. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes some of these guys need to be away from the ring for a long period of time.
Yeah.
When they get back, they're fine.
Yeah, time heals the wounds. That's really what it's about.
I really hope somebody else picks him up, like AEW or somebody eventually, like when he's in a few years when he comes back.
But it's got.
I don't think so. If he goes back to Japan,
or that too. Yeah.
It's got to be when he's ready. To everyone that's ever said though online about him and making fun of him, this and that, saying he should have done this or whatever. You've made a mistake in your life too. So
or listen to this and see what you think.
Yeah,
But listen to it with open ears, because if you're already gonna think that, oh no, this guy's dumb or he's racist or whatever, you already have a preconceived notion of him, then you're listening to this is not gonna help you. You need to listen to this with an open ear.
You can't use logic and common sense with 90% of the people on internet wrestling boards. Come on.
That's true, but
that's also a very good point.
Because deep down, they all know they've made their own mistakes in their life.
Yeah, everybody has.
And they've suffered consequences for it. He's dealing with it. I think the thing that was hardest for us to hear was that he feels like he let so many fans down.
That was hard to hear.
And that he feels like he lost a lot with that. And
we were very proud to hear that he got that job at WWE, because we had been wanting him to get that job at WWE. We were probably,
we knew that was a dream.
We were his biggest fans.
Yeah.
Especially here in San Antonio, we're the biggest fan. My daughter still has a autographed picture of him in her room.
Yeah.
I think I still have two somewhere.
I have a picture of me with him when I was pregnant with my daughter.
When he was in Ring of Honor.
I mean,
yes.
When he was in Ring of Honor. To say that he let us down, no, it's not. No. So you didn't let us down. I just it's
Go ahead, say what you want to say to him.
No, it's just it feels. I feel bad that you think that, because you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost think that's a part of it too, because you alluded to it earlier when he was in ROH. He talked about it too at WWE, about he didn't have his friends, the people he was with all the time. He didn't have a support, and Pierre even mentions that he was at a point after everything hit that he was thinking of grabbing the boys and driving down to go check on him, because they were like,
wrong with him. Yeah.
We know he's upset, we know he's mad, And I think that plays a big part into it, that he didn't have the people there to just be like, look, like you said, put your phone down, stay away from a couple days, let's go get out of here.
Yeah.
And let it die down.
Play 2K, whatever. Yeah.
In some ways, I think that's the problem with some of the stuff. Like sometimes when people get away from their good influences in their ear,
Yeah.
it's not even, that's not even just wrestling. That's like everyone in the entertainment industry, period. When they get away from the people who've been holding them down and keeping them calm, because everyone reacts differently. My thing is that one thing I was very proud of him for saying was he wasn't going to take the mental health route, because because he's like, you know what, I just don't have the problems. I got mad and I made a mistake. And I don't have those problems because I know people who have those problems, and I don't want to use that just as a way to just get out of this trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of them that they didn't do that. But like sometimes though, even when you don't have the mental health problems that everyone or that are severe, that are really severe, you could still have a certain level of mental health that you keep when other people are around you. When you're not near them anymore. You have not like the major issues that are serious. You just have like minor ones that you don't quite know how to control, and that flares up.
Or it's anything. Like there's times when I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm this and that, and I bottle it up until finally and it's happened before. JC will say one little thing, and I'm like, oh man, why don't you listen to me? And then he's just like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh.
Happens to everybody.
It's actually because of this and this and this, and I tell him it's because I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed. It happens to everybody in a different way. Mm-hmm. Some people can bottle it up, but eventually it's going to just spew over if you don't let it out. Especially if you don't let it out to the people that you care and trust to say it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if it's a once a week phone call to your buddies and see how things are going, if you need to vent to them,
Because I don't know about y'all, especially right now with the quarantine, for us, it's been pretty good because we've talked more. We hang out obviously 24/7 now, with our kids and but
you have to really enjoy your wife's company to enjoy this, So.
But at the same time, I know I've heard of some people saying that, they've broken up, they've had issues, they've screamed and yelled at each other every day. I'm just like, whoa, and it's just like.
Well,
why?
Yeah, wasn't that the joke when we kind of started quarantine? And we're like, oh, I can't wait to be a divorce lawyer. When
I've heard that joke.
That was a big joke around.
I've heard that joke.
But I'm saying some people will literally, this whole concept of quarantine literally will make them, going crazy.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
And him being alone, like I said, in Florida or wherever, whatever, around people he didn't have his best friends. It's hard. It's hard when you don't have friends around over there and you're trying
or family,
or anything, and and then something like that happens to you. Of course, you're gonna get upset. I would have been upset.
And even more than that, when you think about it, another thing that probably really helped him out down here was us, as a fan base, because in other places, he's popular, but I mean, come on, King of Texas for him down here was not just a moniker.
Yeah,
in Texas Pro Wrestling for ACH, he was the undisputed king.
Right.
And it wouldn't take much for him to get back there either. So,
Yeah, for especially for a solid 2-3 years there, if you weren't ACH in this state, you almost weren't anybody. So it's like that was a real thing. And so it's like he had all that here, but now he's going to a new place where he has to establish. It's kind of like it's kind of like people who make the joke of leaving high school when they were the top dog, and now they go to college, no one knows them, that kind of thing. It's kind of the same thing. He was that big here, and it's funny. A lot of the friends of mine are like, "Well, was ACH that big?" Who are just new to Texas wrestling? Like, was ACH that big here? I'm like, yeah, ACH was that big here. Mm-hmm. His name on your card meant you would have the full arena. I don't care where it was. If you had a bar of 50 people and ACH was going to be there, you would have 200 try to get in that bar.
If it was a random lucha show on the side of the road, people would be there to see.
And he talked about this too. He's like the big turning point or big thing for him was when he had that match with Chris Hero. We were there, and he said Chris Hero after that was like, you need to get out of Texas. You need to go other places because you're going to be a star. Mm-hmm. And he said it. And he was like, well, I did get an offer to go to St. Louis with my friends. Do it.
And shout out to those guys for inviting him.
Yeah.
So
he needed to.
Yeah. It was nice to see that.
Yeah.
You kind of had a message for ACH. Tommy, Mike, if there's anything you want to say to him before we end this discussion on the interview that you might not have already said already about to ACH personally.
If you guys want to go first, I don't mind waiting.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say I'm proud of him for coming out. I follow Pierre Abernathy, whose real name is Matt Jackson, which he always kind of laughs about too, because he's like, of course I'm named Matt Jackson, but
I actually know that until this, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I like I said, because I had followed the St. Louis Anarchy stuff, and that's where I found out about it. I was like, that's unlucky in wrestling right now. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm proud of him. When I just happened to see this, I was like, oh crap, and I was like, I definitely want to listen to that, because like you said earlier too, I didn't know they had a podcast. Like, St. Louis, I think Anarchy had kind of stopped over there a couple years ago, and I hadn't heard much from them. I heard much more from Vega and Fitchett, because they're a pretty solid tag team on the indies right now. But yeah, I mean, I looked forward to it. I loved hearing all the old. Anytime I can hear friends talking wrestling, I love those podcasts. Hearing them talk about old AEW stuff, and then getting to learn about kind of how it went for him when he went to St. Louis and then Japan was also really cool. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm proud of you for coming out and owning it and not looking for excuses. I felt bad for him when everything was going on. We were hoping he was getting help. And he's kind of come forward about it. And in wrestling, you never say never. There's really no bridge you can burn given enough time and the right situations. So, if it's something he's wanting to come back to at some point, we support him. And if it's not, and he wants to go and venture to other things in life, we support him with that too. So,
right. Tommy, what about you?
Well, JCH, like I said when we did the episode about the shirt to begin with, as a black man, as African American man, I get where he's from with that. I also get how, because like throughout history, I think there's been this cavalcade of, and like just when African American men have had enough. Some have dealt with it in different ways. Sometimes it manifests in the wrong way. It just does. Sometimes you get so frustrated, you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, something that you're like, I can't believe I did that. I apologize for it, and you're sorry later. And yeah, there are consequences for those actions. There's no one saying that there's not consequences for these actions. There are, but it's never about how you fall; it's how you get back up. And getting back up doesn't necessarily mean going back to wrestling. While personally, I would love to see you back in wrestling, ACH. If that's not what you want to do, when you decide at the end of the day, hey, it's your life. You gotta live it how you want to, brother. But however you get back up, however you choose to get back up, when you feel like you're ready, you can do it. And that's what I remember on the interview. They said it's easy to say that when you're not in it, and that's true. It's easy to say it from the outside looking in, but knowing the person that you are, ACH, I believe you can get back up. I've seen it in your eyes time and time again. When you're ready, when you feel like you're strong enough, I believe you can do it. And whatever you decide to do from this point on, I'll support you.
For me, Albert, all I want to say, and you've heard the sentiment from everybody, the main thing is we're all proud of you. Don't ever feel like you let anybody down at all. Yeah, that was a dream job. Things happen. I think everybody at one point in their life has hit rock bottom at some point.
Oh, yeah.
But that's one of those things where life will get better.
Takes time.
It does take time.
Oh, yeah.
We're all still very proud of you. We're also very proud of the career you've had.
Yes.
And we're proud of the person you are now, because let's face it, this experience has made you a stronger and better person. Sometimes these things have to happen and you learn to be something better. And we're going to be very proud of the career you're going to have, whether it's still in wrestling, whether you go back to becoming a wrestler, whether you become a trainer at a school like Hybrid, whether you decide to get into esports. And in case, I'll see you on the FGC circuit, buddy. One thing I do want to see, though, from you is a picture of you with a beard, because when you mentioned that, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Albert with any facial hair.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Put that up on social media.
Yeah. But don't feel like you have to come back for anybody. Come back for you.
Oh, yeah.
Take the time you need. Come back on social media whenever you're ready. We'll be here. I know you're still on Instagram. And even if you ever want to talk, it doesn't have to be about wrestling.
Yeah.
It can be about sports. It can be about how our Titans are going to own the NFL this year if they have a season. So we can
It
always
could be
talk
how
about
our
that.
Spurs are going to come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of Spurs
Boom.
fans here. So I hope you're doing well. Enjoy the time you have a family. This is time off, much deserved. I'd say your career's been going nonstop for so long. Maybe you needed this. And things are going to be better. Believe me. The hype has never left who ACH is. You could show up tomorrow booked on a show, and quarantine or not, people will show up in full force to watch you wrestle because that's how amazing a performer that you are. How
With
much
masks and gloves and everything, but yeah, they'd be there.
It's how much we love you in
Disinfectant,
Texas.
you know,
I mean,
if we can find it.
people still make your creator wrestlers in the WWE games and everything. So we love you. We're always going to be here for you. Reach out to us if you ever want to talk, man. And most importantly, keep your head up. We're all still very, very proud of you. So if you haven't listened to the interview, check it out. It's Submission Squad Presents $1 Menu Midcarders. Available wherever you do get your podcast. Although when I tried to pull it up on Apple, it wasn't loading the new episodes for some reason. But if you do a quick search on it, I'm sure you can find it on Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever.
Yeah, usually whichever ones you use.
Yeah, whatever one that you use, it'll pop up. So.
And one more shout out to the Submission Squad guys themselves, because
Yes.
in general
Yeah.
they just seem like really good friends. And I'll use
Kinda nice to hear
their
them as
wrestling
nice guys.
names: Pierre Abernathy, Gillestico, and Vega and Fitchin weren't there, but I know they're usually a part of that group. They talked about them.
And Gary J.
And Gary
Oh,
J.
Gary J. I forgot. Another one I hardly ever see as a face, but yeah.
And to be fair, because I know if they hear this, if they do, they'll read me for this. I actually have seen them. I actually have talked to them after shows, and them be nice to me. Aside from that one picture, it was after knowing them for years. It took me a couple of years to get to that point, but I have known them to be nice.
Funny part is Gary J was a face when he first debuted in ACW at the
Oh,
venue,
you're
so,
right,
you
you're
know,
right.
then he became my bitter enemy.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't there.
We feuded.
It was like
I don't care what
it was
anything-
like the
I don't care
four
what
of them
anyone
came
I always
down.
think of. I've always thought of them as bad
It was
guys.
with Gary J.
Here's what I remember about them. They came down to a show at the venue. It was 4 guys from St. Louis.
the
They were in a tag
venue.
team match, and they stole the damn show. We wanted
Yeah,
them back. They
they
brought them back
did, yeah.
again, and they did it again. And that was always the fun part about it. Everybody was hooked on these St. Louis guys when they came down. So
Yeah.
it
I always feel bad talking to Gary J because I would talk to Gary J and Vega more than Pierre and Evan. You know, no offense, I'm just saying that's what I talk to more. And I'd always talk to them like, so you guys heading back tonight? And like they'd be like, yeah, we're driving back tonight. I was like, oh damn. He's like, yeah.
And if you ever see the Nasty Boys in the street, don't just feel free to just tell them, yeah, kayfabe, bro.
Oh my god!
That was so insane.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That story was so much crazier than I ever thought what was actually
no
happening that day.
kidding.
But not surprised at the same time.
Not
I'm like,
surprised. We all know.
Yeah,
learned from that.
yeah.
We knew it then. We knew it now. The Nasty Boys are all a couple pieces of shit. So
Casey, not
that's-
to get too off topic, but
crazy.
was that the weekend where there was a smaller comic, like a con in San Antonio at like the little event center off Marbach or something?
I think that was the con they were referring to that they went
Yeah.
to. It was either that one or the one in Austin. It was something like
Well,
that.
no, it was in Austin. I know the Nasty Boys were in Austin, but I felt like that weekend they did a small one in San Antonio on Saturday, and then Sunday they went up to Austin for that. I don't know, maybe.
I think you're right. That sounds familiar to me. For some
Yeah.
reason.
If
Yeah.
it was like the San Antonio Comic Con or something like that, the San Antonio event.
Because it wasn't even. It was one of those little small ones before they had.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was one of those really, really small ones because it wasn't even that big. Because
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's possible. There's so much stuff happens. It happened years ago. You can think about it. So. Does anybody have a 1 minute warning today?
I got one.
Tommy's got
Go
one.
for it.
Okay. Tommy's gonna start us off then.
Okay.
Not that you can see the timer. Well, I can
Not that
probably-
you can see the timer.
Actually,
the
you know
timer's
what?
right
We-
here, Tommy.
The timer's right here. Yeah. So.
No, I see it. It's right there.
Up
Right.
here. Ready?
Oh,
ready?
yeah, well, duh.
Ready? Set.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, so my 1 minute warning is Pro Wrestling Noah is still going. They had to cancel for the crowds to be there, but they are still doing shows. Pro Wrestling Noah, they just had a big faction battle with Sagiragun and Congo, which which is pretty freaking cool. And so they're still doing shows. I don't think they have their network up yet, but I think they're doing stuff through DDT's streaming service, I think. But yeah, if you check out their YouTube channel, they're still posting things. Their Facebook channel is keeping people updated. There's still some stuff going on. Shout out to them. New Japan still hasn't said when they're coming back yet. I hope it's soon, but they haven't said when they're coming back yet. But they're working on it, and I think Stardom and Pro Wrestling Wave are still running. So there's still wrestling out there. Even if you get to find it by hook or by crook, it's out there. So shout out to those companies.
It's slowly coming back. I mean, Korea baseball just picked back up, and ESPN is broadcasting the games, although they're like overnight. So it's slowly working its way back. The sports world is coming back, and it's good to see the wrestling.
Gotta watch some Korean baseball.
Yeah, I mean, apparently there was an epic bat flip last night, so I was like, damn, I need to watch this stuff. So.
Yeah, it's always funny to watch the top 10 ESPNs now when they do the home editions now.
Yeah.
And it's all the little kids hitting home runs off of their dads. It's freaking hilarious.
Mike, do you have something this week?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay, hang on. Give me a second.
JC's messing up.
Let me get the stopwatch back. Okay, ready.
Don't go to laps. Don't go to laps.
All right, ready,
Go.
set, go.
Can anybody explain to me why the IIconics are not on any kind of WWE programming?
Thank you.
Still,
Because one of them's married to an AEW guy.
No.
I over the past week, just on happenstance, I've seen people in different places post old clips of them, and oh my god, I'm just sitting there cracking up. Billie Kay is one of the funniest people on earth. Her timing is perfect. Her reactions when she would lose matches. There was the one where they were the tag champs and they were the first out, and she's out on ringside just swinging in the air and go they're just hilarious. And you have all this other programming now, like The Bump, Backstage, all these other formats where they don't even have to wrestle, can come in and just talk and be themselves and nothing. And I just don't get it. They're hilarious. They're an asset to WWE, and I don't know why they don't use them. So yeah, get the IIconics back on TV, please.
All right.
To go with that, I heard that Peyton said that they are going to be on soon. She didn't say when, but she said soon.
Soon.
My assumption is as soon as they start bringing back who's the champions right now, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross back on programming, they're going to end up showing up. So let's hope, fingers crossed. I'm waiting for that.
I hope so.
Also, to piggyback that off what Mike said, I love when after that segment when they lost the belts for no reason at all. Billie Kay did a Liu Kang kick in midair just for nothing. It's like she wasn't aiming at anyone. No one was near her. She did a Liu Kang kick in the air, and I said, "I love this woman." I like the Alexa Bliss thing with Blood for Soup, but she did a Liu Kang kick for no reason. I was like, "I'm in. I'm with Mike."
Yeah.
Don't forget to put the GoFundMe up for the cameo.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Call back.
Nice.
No, but I know that I speak for everyone pretty much that we do miss them a lot, and
Yes.
I do. They're one of my favorite tag teams to see. They're very entertaining.
They're just so funny.
You've got to be joking me. This year I had a student named Kayla. And it was really hard not to go, "Hey, Kayla." So
one of my best friends, her name is Kayla, and it's everything I can do to not just call her at random and just go, "Hey, Kayla."
Yeah.
There's that one clip where she does that and asks about, "Did you go to journalism for that?" And Peyton's laughing, Kayla's laughing, like they're both laughing, and Billie Kay just keeps going.
She has a straight face the whole time. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
And you would think now would be the perfect time for them because all 2020 is literally where Billie Kay should be going. You got to be joking me. Literally every day we wake up.
I don't know if anybody wants to keep seeing Peyton. She does like a TikTok almost every day, at least 2-3 TikToks a day. And she used to be if you go back.
No, I know nothing about that.
If you go back and listen to if you go back and listen to Lillian's podcast, they talk about them coming up and. They went to a specific high school for certain things that you get in for. Billie got in for basketball and she got in for dance. So she was actually majoring in high school for dance.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
do you have anything this week, babe?
something maybe short.
It's up to you. You don't have to.
Go ahead.
All right, go.
So same thing going off of the IIconics. There's a lot of women that we are missing still. I do understand that they're trying to keep everybody safe, so they're probably not using as many women as they would like to. I know that everyone's Naya right now has been kind of just playing on with the trolls and telling them like, oh, I injure people, ha ha ha. But that's not really something funny you should make fun of.
Not really.
And then other wrestlers, independent wrestlers, are making fun of her because all she does is do TikToks all day, which is kind of ironic because so does
That's all anybody's really doing all day.
That's what anybody's doing right now. Yeah. So another ironic,
Doing one right now.
Yeah.
another interesting thing that maybe Mike's not gonna think is interesting, but it is interesting. The Bella Twins came out with a book today. Yeah, and Mike's
Mike just took his headphones.
So I normally would be like, oh gosh, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think the Bella Twins are great wrestlers. I'm sorry, ladies who are fans of them, because mostly the time it's just ladies and some men. But I'm not a fan of them as wrestlers, but as human beings, I like them. I enjoy watching Total Bellas. I enjoy watching the drama unfold. This season, the drama was between their parents. Their parents basically, because they want to reconnect with their dad and who lives in Mexicali. So it was like a big, huge drama thing on there.
Yeah.
But anyways, on the book, it talks about their both life stories and backgrounds. And apparently it came out today on the news that, because the book came out today, that it came out that Nikki got raped 2 times when she was a teenager.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh my God. So for her to be strong enough to even talk about that is a big accomplishment in general. Like to show that, you can get over this. You can be a powerful woman, because regardless of what anybody likes to say about the Bella Twins, they're huge entrepreneurs. They wrestled. They have a clothing line. They have a wine company. They have now a beauty product company. And they have a book. So, I mean, you can't say anything too bad about them when they have all that going for them.
They're making the most of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Brian put it on his Instagram, who never Instagrams, but Brian Danielson or Daniel Ryan put up hey, go get my wife's book. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would hope you advertise your wife's.
Well, I know, but he doesn't. He barely advertises Total Bella, so there's that.
Okay, that's true.
Because he doesn't like the camera that much.
He's like, we need money for a bigger garden.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I know how everybody likes to talk smack about them, but that in itself is a huge thing to let out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking smack and about them as wrestlers is one thing, but yeah, like I always do respect people who come through that kind of stuff and they come back, especially to do something like super involved and physical that put your entire life on blast like that.
Yeah.
People who come through that kind of stuff always impress me, So yeah, so whenever I insult them, it has nothing to do with them as people. Them as people is fine.
Yeah.
Them as wrestlers. Well, anyway, this is a good episode, guys.
Yeah, I did that 1 minute warning a couple months ago, and same thing. There's wrestlers and there's people who their characters and the way the WWE portrays them, I got tired of, and I don't really care to see them much anymore. Stephanie McMahon, but
I knew that was coming.
and they're somewhat similar, but yeah, no, I mean, that's in the wrestling context of the band.
That's her. No.
Not them as human beings.
Yeah.
That's very unfortunate to hear.
Yeah.
That she had to go through. So
Yeah.
And then next month we
courageous
find
to
out
share.
what kind of baby she's having, because she's pregnant, and Bree's not gonna know until she gives birth what she's having. So.
So in 20 years, are we going to see the Bella cousins stable? I'm just assuming that we're going to.
or the Bella, if Bree has another girl, then the Bella sisters, or
the Bella Familia.
the Bella Part
fam.
2s, or
Maybe they'll fully embrace the
the
Hispanic
Bella
heritage.
Rosas. I don't know.
Tina, I figured you would know. Did I?
Wouldn't be a bad name though, actually.
Or it would be like the Bella Danielsons. I don't know.
Bella Emilia.
Bella Bryans.
Did I hear this? Did I hear this right? That Nikki Bella signed an NDA about her relationship with Cena, and so she really can't talk too much about it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That would not be very surprising,
If
knowing
you-
the way John Cena is about his image.
If you watch,
that wouldn't surprise
if
me.
you watch the whole thing about the relationship on Total Divas and Total Bellas, she had a contract for when she lived with him.
Had
Their
a cohabitation
relationship.
agreement, yeah.
There
That's the
was
craziest thing
there was
going on.
also
When she had to go pick her stuff up from Cena's house, like they couldn't take any cameras in there.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to.
uh,
And honestly, Mariah Carey has the same NDA with Nick Cannon, her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He had to sign an NDA. He can't talk at all about their relationship whatsoever.
Yep.
So
Also, that's why he can't do the comebacks on Wild and Out. That
No,
makes sense.
Nope.
can't say shit. He can't say shit. So
Hey,
yeah.
They can roast them all they want.
Hey, Wild and Out this season's pretty good. It's the old school versus the new school.
Hey,
I'm
it's
just saying.
still fun, man. Wow.
I love Wild and Out.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite shows.
I see those clips all over the place.
My
I love
kids
it.
are starting to go, can we see Wild?
Can we see Wildin'?
Wildin'? That's what they call it.
Wow.
All right. My women in warning will be wrestling related, and then I'm gonna have something to discuss with real quickly my thoughts on Evo 2020 being canceled. But wrestling related, my one hope for Money in the Bank is please, dear God, don't jump the shark. Everyone knows.
What shark?
Everyone knows the whole term "jump the shark." I believe it was Happy Days or Fonzie
Yep,
jumped the
Happy
shark.
Days.
And basically, if any TV show hits the point where they do something so incredibly stupid, they've jumped the shark and they're going downhill.
Like if somebody
For
falls
the
off the
love
building?
of God, please don't throw anybody off
Thank
the
you.
top of the
About to say
Titan
that.
Towers, the corporate building. Please. I know you're having both matches on at the same time. I know this is going to get crazy cinematic. And yes, the Boneyard match was great. The Firefly Funhouse match, they were both great at WrestleMania. The cinematic stuff is awesome. The empty arena match between Rock and Mankind years ago would have been great too if you didn't have the stupid ending with the forklift and the camera suddenly being completely there. Please, dear God, don't throw anybody off the top of the building in something stupid, because then it would literally jump the shark, and Raw and SmackDown will suck ass from then on. Please, dear God, WWE, don't jump the shark. Don't throw anybody off the top of the building. Don't be stupid about it.
Did anybody see Mysterio's interview on Monday? His promo.
No.
No, what he said.
That's exactly what he said. He's like, I understand there's a risk that I could fall off the building. And I was like, oh dear God. That's why I don't know if anyone saw that tweet.
Oh,
but I was
great.
like,
Someone's going to
okay,
fall off the
WWE, are you
building.
really going on with that?
If they pre-tape this, edit it the F out, please. Come on.
I swear, if they throw AJ Styles out the building
I was.
and he still lives,
And he reappears on top of the
they
ladder.
need to redo something with him.
Oh
He's
my
a zombie.
God,
He is
man.
a
Wait, hold
freaking
on.
god at
What
this
is
point.
that movie where they like try to kill the guy? He rushes back in and goes, "Nice try, asshole."
Nah, I
That's
don't
what
know.
You gonna throw AJ off the building? He's gonna show
No.
up Monday. Nice
You know
try,
what?
assholes.
You know what just made me think of? When Gallows and Anderson show up in New Japan, they need to have a cinematic comeback where
Oh my God.
Gallows gets up from the side of a building and Anderson gets up from a burning building, because he got Tombstone. They're like, where are we?
That'd be awesome. Or they
They're
just
like,
rise
oh,
out of
back
the
up.
grave.
No, you know what they should do? when Frankie Kazarian left TNA and joined Daniels in ROH, he showed up in a box that got delivered to Daniels' house, and he said, Frankie, where have you been? He said, where's the name? What name? We can't use that anymore. We have to go back to Bullet Club. We can't use the O and the other letter anymore. We're not allowed.
Yeah.
We can't call ourselves the O. No. We can't call ourselves that. We are Bullet Club once again.
For a few minutes, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm gonna take a few minutes to take my wrestling hat off and put on. My
I guess
gamer
if I
hat
have
on.
to know.
No, just.
Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah, all right.
Sure.
T and I were planning to go to Evo 2020. It was going to be my first Evo competing and even attending. Sadly, it was canceled, and I think they made the right call. They took the time to kind of weigh the options to see how this thing was going to go, and they made the call at the right time with enough time for people who had either booked to cancel flights, hotels like we had, and they're going to automatically refund all the tickets. So props to them for doing that, and I'm glad they're at least giving us an Evo online event. They're announcing more details hopefully sometime this week as far as how that's going to work. What I am bothered by is how much people are ripping them online because of all of this. First off, it's sad news. Evo, regardless of how many majors there are out there, it's the biggest fighting game tournament of the year. And for me, I've been waiting years to attend, to compete. It was hopefully that's this year. It's not happening, sadly. And I'm hopeful next year Samurai Shodown will be back because I want to compete. I want to play. I want to see how well I do against some of the best in the world. But I don't understand why the anger over this. Evo made the right call. They took the time to do this. Why everyone is so quick to say, why are you going to run an online tournament? Would you rather they do nothing at all? Yes, fighting games online, it's not always the best. Any game using delay-based netcode, Samurai Shodown being one of them, it's spotty. Sometimes the connection's bad. Things get crazy. Lobbies aren't the best, and everyone seems to rip on them for that. but it's better than what we used to have. When fighting games first went online, if anybody can remember the days of Capcom versus SNK 2 on the Xbox or any other fighting game on PS2 or PS3 for that matter that was online, it was damn near unplayable. I mean, they even like made up there was an etiquette that you couldn't throw online because nobody could ever break throws. And even then, that was better than what we used to have before that, which was nothing. Can you imagine if this quarantine had hit when we didn't have games to play each other online, when we didn't have no way to play people fighting games online? What if this had hit in the late 90s and the early 2000s, where this type of online gameplay was really non-existent or in its infancy? We would have no way to connect with people. Twitch wouldn't be taken off as it is now. What I really would hope is that people appreciate what they do have. And I feel like a lot of gamers, especially in the fighting game community, have lost sight of that. A lot of guys refuse to play games online. That's your prerogative because the netcode's bad. Hey, it's better than not having anything at all. Yes, I would love to see Samurai Showdown and some of the other games have rollback netcode, but even rollback netcode's not perfect. And even then, how do you not know they aren't working on it already? It takes time, especially in a game that's so heavily graphically demanding as Samurai Showdown with 3D graphics and whatnot. It's possibly already being worked on. It's going to be implemented, I'm assuming, hopefully soon, but they don't need to tell us when. And honestly, if you're going to sit there and bitch and moan and complain that it's not out there already, go program it yourself. If you think you can do a better job of programming this, hit a keyboard, pull up whatever it is you need to code, and do it yourself. And let's see if you can make something better. And if you can, submit that to SNK. Let Kaiser Wave know. Kaiser Wave, you're doing a great job as the SNK community guy. I love you. Appreciate everything that you're doing. But rollback isn't perfect. There's still some things on it. And obviously, yeah, with some of their games with rollback, there's no lobbies. So hopefully that stuff changes. But be thankful that esports is where it is. I can remember years ago watching Evo the first time it was on ESPN, and I was a bit emotional that one of my biggest hobbies, fighting games, was making it mainstream. Because for so many years, gamers like us, we were outcasts. We were looked down upon, much like people like ACH were when they went into the Ring of Honor locker room. Things are a lot better now than they used to be, and the world could be a lot different for us if this quarantine happened years ago.
Go Nerds.
Essentially,
Evo,
yeah.
To the guys running Evo, I look forward to Evo Online this year because at least we're getting something. And it will be my first Evo, even if it is online. And I look forward to Evo 2021 because Tina and I are already making plans to go. We've already got the money saved up. It's back in our savings. The points are back on our Southwest account. And please bring Samurai Showdown back. Because I know these games fluctuate from year to year. And I want Samurai Showdown back just for one more time before the sequel comes out. So thank you guys to you and to any tournament organizer out there that takes the time, the sacrifices to put all these things together. The crew out in California who have opened up their Wednesday night fights online to everybody in the country. And most of the time I can't play because we're recording this, and that's fine, but I'll play when I can. To Jeff the Hero who runs Ronin Rumble and all the help that he has. For anybody out there that is organizing an online tournament, I know it's difficult. I know it's hard, but you guys sacrifice so much time to do that, especially in this era right now, to make life bearable. And I can't thank you enough for that. Keep doing what you're doing. To the guys at SNK and anybody else that's coming out with a video game that's trying to fix any issues they're having with lobbies and netcode, keep working hard. I know you're working hard on it, and I appreciate all the work that you do. Thank you for giving us something to get through this quarantine.
Woo!
Back my wrestling cap on.
Yeah.
Also,
I think it is a little. Just real quick, just to piggyback. I think it's unfair for anyone to expect any of these companies to have all the answers, all the things fixed right now. If they're working on it, great. I mean, but guys,
even then,
no one saw this coming.
No.
Also, thank you Nintendo for Animal Crossing.
Yes, thank you God for Animal Crossing.
But you know, if the quarantine has maybe not taught me, I should say reiterated something. People are always going to find something to complain about.
Yeah,
they're always going to find a reason to just make things difficult for people because there's just a lot of people that are entitled about things, and
sadly.
I'm thankful to have the fighting game community that's opened up to a lot of people, especially now. Even the StarCraft and StarCraft 2 communities have started to see an influx of new people playing. I'm watching it a lot on Twitch. I kind of want to get back into it too. I haven't played forever, you know.
Did you see recently? Speaking of that, just made me think about the '99 Spurs. How they were having, I think it was StarCraft parties.
Yeah, StarCraft came out in
like
'99. So
Duncan, Robinson, Elliott, all of them. That's what they were doing, like in the hotels and on the planes.
StarCraft.
Like,
I
playing
mean,
the game,
I played a bunch of it in college. Me and my roommate. We would just.
I remember that. Yeah.
So it's a blast. It's a fun game, and I love watching it on Twitch. I'll have my headphones on. I'm listening on Twitch while I'm working, and just hearing the sounds of the game is pretty relaxing too. So, as for Money in the Bank, it is this Sunday, May 10th. Happy Mother's Day, babe.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Yay.
Oh, snap. That's my birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday?
May 10th, yeah.
Nice.
It is wow. You even forgot.
It's
your
also,
birthday.
it's
Happy
also
birthday.
one of my friend, my friend Kevin's his birthday too.
Oh, nice.
My coworker.
It's
Well,
a
happy Mother's
Sunday.
Day.
For me.
Huh?
Happy Mother's Day, because I do appreciate what you've done for everybody here.
Happy Mother's Day, Tina.
Thank you. I try.
So we're going to celebrate Mother's Day. We're watching Money in the Bank Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. Kickoff, if there's going to be a show, it's probably going to be at 5. We know that the actual ladder match or ladder matches, we assume it's all together in one match, is going to be at the WWE Global Headquarters, a.k.a. the Titan Towers in Stamford, Connecticut. They haven't really said if the rest of the matches are going to be there
Who
or
else
not.
thinks it's going to end at 9?
I would love for it to end at 9.
I think so.
If the other matches aren't at Connecticut, they're probably going to be at the Performance
There's
Center.
no Brock Lesnar. It's just going to end at 9.
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it, because he's going to show up like he did last year.
You said end at 9. How long? What is the runtime for Die Hard? Then we're going to discuss that's going to be the
Oh.
Unless they replay Edge and Orton from WrestleMania to add another 45 minutes on.
Oh my gosh. No, he said. I heard that they don't want to do that anymore. But
I hope not. Of course, you can watch all this on WWE Network. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe now. You get a month free. All that jazz. The
and
usual.
all that jazz.
All that jazz.
all
That.
jazz.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not going to be the fourth person in that.
As for
Come
us,
on. What
our
movie?
Twitter
What movie,
account.
Mike? What movie, Mike? What movie, Mike?
Cabaret.
No,
What?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
What?
Our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast, and you can subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts on Money in the Bank, your thoughts on the show itself, your match predictions. Let us know your thoughts on the ACH interview that the Submission Squad Presents podcast had. And you can find me on Twitch. There's my link, twitch.tv/knockoff64. Come check me out playing Samurai Showdown, maybe Animal Crossing, maybe StarCraft 2, whatever I decide to play. Mostly Samurai Showdown, though. That seems to be the
Buy
thing.
some turnips. No, I don't know.
Buy some.
We got every
Let's
fruit.
turnip trade.
We got every fruit.
Let's turnip trade for some money.
Oh, Tina, I'll tell you later off camera.
We have a by the way, we have a full wrestling ring in our town now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Wrestling ring.
next week we're gonna recap WWE Money in the Bank, and if you guys leave us any comments about ACH or anything, we'll read some of those as well. So
Be nice.
it was definitely good to see you guys. We did this on a Skype call. Hopefully the video works so I can figure it out. So
good to see y'all too.
yep, yeah.
Watch it be all voice delayed. You're gonna be like woohoo, and it's gonna be like.
I'll sync it somehow.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you everybody out there for watching and listening and for giving us about an hour of your time. On the Skype call, we had Mike.
Mike, be nice and good to people in 2020.
Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
My beautiful wife and an amazing mother, Tina.
Adios. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I know right now you're being told to be not only the mom, but the teacher. And I'm a teacher on top of that. So, you're doing a great job. Happy Mother's Day.
You've been the backbone of this family this whole time, so thank you very much for everything.
Oh, don't start.
And I'm JC, and as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People
People are fake. Water bottle coming at you.
So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.